I don't have much time, but I had to come on and connect with my community. Hi, Franklin. Hi, Hopeful Nihilism. Hi, Ralph. Hi, Mace Woods. How are you guys? Great to see you. Hi, everybody. Hi, Joseph. Hi, everybody. I just have like a half an hour to come on. Hi, hi, hi. I just want to connect with my community and tell people where I'm at. And I'd love to hear where you're at too. If you feel like joining the conversation, just type in your comments and I will read them. I will read them aloud if I can. And I just really appreciate you being here. I appreciate. Hi, Makaira. How are you? Or Makiara. Nice to see you. I hope I pronounced your name correctly. I just have to connect with people when I am feeling overwhelmed. That's what I have to do. I have to come on and see that people care. And I can tell that you do. Hi, Carrie. Hi, Ralph. Saying he's happy because Noam is gone. Hi, David. Great to see you. Thanks for all of the participation that you give on my posts. Hi, Corinne. Oh, Makiera, I got your hug. Thank you so much. And I return it. I return virtual hugs to all of you. Big time. I'm sending you all my love. I'm sending you my healing energy. I'm sending you strength through time and space. Hi, son. Great to see you. Thank you for saying hello before you go to the work. Before you go to work. Hi, Corinne again. Hi, John Katz. Hello, everybody. Yeah, I'm just here to tell you guys how grateful I am to you. Thank goodness for Substack. Thank goodness for our connections on here because you know what? It's the only way we're going to survive. Okay, no election can get us out of this. That is impossible, okay? We have to survive authoritarianism, and the only way we can do it is through this human connection. That is it. We have to help take care of each other. So I came on here. Oh, thank you, Corinne. I appreciate that. They're saying I have such a great voice. Um, I appreciate that. I like to come on and use my voice, and I want to always hear your voices. In fact, your voices, each one of you guys, your voices are the most important voices to me. I do not give a shit about the voices of Congress people. I do not give a shit about the voices of billionaires. I do not give a shit about the voices of billionaires, famous people, celebrities. I don't give a shit. I care about your voice. I care about our voices. You know why? Because we are the ones who have to solve these problems. Nobody, and I mean nobody, is coming to save us. Our Congress is not going to save us. Foreign countries are not going to invade the USA and free the concentration camps. It's not going to happen. The only thing that will save us is each other. Okay. And the only way we can do that is by sharing ideas and being in solidarity. That is it. So, I'm very hopeful. Despite what I see happening, it is devastating. I am sad. I grieve, but I still believe in us. I believe in us. We, we are way bigger and way more powerful than any of these people. We outnumber them greatly, and we are brilliant. And we are brilliant when we come together. We are brilliant when we support each other and share our ideas. And so I will always share your voices and your articles. That's what I do. See you, son. See you soon. Hi, Margaret. Great to see you. Thank you for joining. Um, I'm just going to read what Mace is saying. Thank you, Mace. She is correct. Voting will not work. Please read my article on the maths behind how they are cheating. I will definitely read it because we have to share the truth. I think you guys probably realize that politicians fucking lie. They lie constantly. They don't tell the truth. You should never even be listening to a word they say. If you want to know what the politicians really think and what they believe, just look at who's funding them. That's all you have to do. They don't work for us. They work for corporations. They work for foreign lobbies. Can't you tell? Look around. They don't vote in our best interest. They haven't for decades. For decades. Okay, I want everybody to understand reality. That's why I come onto social media. I come onto social media to share the truth. And, for a long time, people thought that the things we think are conspiracy theories. No, the fuck they're not. No, they're not. What's a conspiracy theory? QAnon. Down in Texas, their conspiracy theory this week was that there's illegals voting. That's a conspiracy theory. It's not a conspiracy theory to say that elections are not free and fair and that they can never help us. That's the fucking truth. Okay, our elections have been controlled since the beginning of this country. Okay, since the very first elections, who was able to vote? White landholding men. Okay, then it just became white men. Then it was women, but no, it was just white women. Okay, people of color didn't even remotely have the right to vote until the Voting Rights Act. That was in 1965. And then right after that, guess what happened? The effort to dismantle it started. Okay, the Heritage Foundation, the Federalist Society, originalism as a concept, these things were created right after the Civil Rights Act and the Voting Rights Act. This is what happened. Okay, right now as it stands, the 2 million people who are imprisoned, they don't get to vote. Why do you think we have mass incarceration? Mass voter suppression. Okay, this is designed, it's baked in. How about the Electoral College? That's voter suppression. Look what happened. The popular vote and the Electoral College, they don't always match up. Okay, they didn't happen to match up for the for either of the two elections where this orange motherfucker won. He didn't win the popular vote, right? That is voter suppression, you guys. We cannot blame each other for that. We have to stop blaming each other for that. Those MAGA sheep, they don't have power in this country. They're some of the most highly oppressed people in the nation. They have been brainwashed since birth. Okay, they didn't put this orange motherfucker in office. The billionaires did, okay? The billionaires own, what do they own? The media, the political parties, the courts, and the elections. Okay, our country has been owned since the beginning of society by billionaires, by the rich, by the wealthy white landholders. That is the history of our elections. Okay, they've never once, ever in our entire history have we had free and fair elections. In 2013, they allowed gerrymandering to become legal again. That is voter suppression. Okay. Some states have closed primary races. That is voter suppression. Okay. 2010, Citizens United, unlimited corporate and foreign lobby campaign donations. That is voter suppression. We have got to stop scapegoating each other. Okay. What was brilliant? 2024. Okay. Joe Biden, he was supposed to be a one-term president. What happened? The DNC forced him to stay in the race. Then what happened? Oh, he had one bad debate. The media companies trashed him. Uh-oh, get him out of the race. Throw in Kamala. No primary race. How convenient. She lost. What happens? We blame each other for being racist and sexist. It's masterful. It's masterful. Meanwhile, he did not even win 50% of the popular vote. The voters did not do this, okay? And that's why the voters cannot get us out of this. Now, the people can, okay? But voting will never get us out of authoritarianism. The way that elections are utilized in authoritarianism is to legitimize the regime. I don't actually think the elections will be canceled. Okay, it's too convenient for them. What happened? Didn't Elon Musk swoop in at the last minute and somehow manipulate the Electoral College? They admitted it on camera several times. They acknowledged rigging the election. Didn't Trump say you'll never have to vote again? It will all be fixed, right? Okay, to me, that's believable. I saw it with my own two eyes. Weren't you on November 6th, 2024? Didn't you feel it in your gut that all of a sudden he won every single swing state? It's like statistically impossible. Okay, we have to trust our intuition. They lie to us. They have the media to feed us lies. Is that hard for you to believe? To me, it's very simple to believe. We need to help other people know that, like, no, this is not a conspiracy theory. There's an actual motherfucking conspiracy going on. I don't think that is hard to understand. There's something called a plutocracy. Do you know what it is? It's when the wealthy control the country. Don't you think that describes what's happened? Right? That's not direct democracy. That's not even representative democracy. Okay? This is not um, a new thing. We have to wake people up. People are in a deep slumber. Oh, people say, oh, but all those people who didn't vote, why the fuck do you think they don't vote? They know it's a fucking scam. They are barely surviving. People are busting their ass in our country to just live. We don't have affordable housing. We don't have health insurance. We don't have affordable education. It's by design. Okay? This country was founded on what? Genocide? Human enslavement? Not much has changed. Okay? Why did we believe that we lived in a free country? Because we were fed these lies. Okay, we don't learn real history in school. We learn a curated version of the truth. Okay, now we have to start defining reality. It's up to us. Okay, we cannot count on mainstream media. They don't tell us the truth about anything. Okay, our media is filtered, and it's filtered by the people who own the corporation of the media company. And even a lot of independent media, they take the talking points that they're hearing in the mainstream media and they distill the same shit. I'm so grateful for people on Substack because we have our own minds. I love reading your articles about the state of reality here. I love when I don't see the same regurgitated shit like I saw on Facebook, Instagram. I never joined Twitter, but I know that became a right-wing megaphone. Don't you remember when Elon Musk forced the sale of Twitter? What happened? He said he wanted to preserve the digital town square. What? He turned it into a fucking right-wing megaphone. Okay? He legitimized right-wing ideology. Look where we are. We are squarely in authoritarianism. That is where we are. Okay, so elections during an authoritarian state, they just legitimize the regime. Look at Turkey. Look at Russia. Look at Hungary. Okay, these are excellent examples of what we can expect. The 2026 elections will probably still happen because they'll be manipulated. They'll be manipulated. Right now, he's saying, oh, I might need to suspend them and martial law. Like, okay, maybe he will. And then I hope he does so that people wake the fuck up and see that elections cannot save us. I don't feel negatively about it. I just feel it's real. I have felt devastated about what I'm seeing. I grieve every day, but I will never, ever give up. There have been generations of people in our country who've been highly oppressed, suppressed, murdered, and imprisoned since the beginning of this country. Okay? I've been lucky. I have white privilege. I haven't been a target before. Okay? I understand that. But whole demographics of people have been highly suppressed throughout the entire nation of our country. We have to join together. We have to join together in numbers way too big for them to ever control. And we need to organize mass movements of civil disobedience. We gotta shut down their fascist economy. We gotta try to help support each other in order to have a general strike. People aren't gonna stop working if they don't know where they're gonna eat, right? This is gonna take a long time to organize. I'm in it. I'm in it for the long haul. I'm not going anywhere. And I hope that you guys are too. I'm never going to give up. I'm just gonna know what I'm looking at. I'm gonna know how to interpret it. Even these liberal commentators, what they do is they take things that Trump is doing and they share the propaganda and they use a sarcastic quip or they have some, way of essentially just repeating the same propaganda. We have to share reality. We have to share solutions. We can't just regurgitate the propaganda and say, "Wow, can you believe it?" Of course I can believe it. I've been listening to this shit for a goddamn decade. It is time to wake up. It's time to wake up from a deep slumber. All right, I'm gonna read some comments now after I get off my soapbox. Okay, Elizabeth, hi. Elizabeth is telling me Noam's replacement, Mullen, is supported by big corporations. See, that's the reality. Corporations and foreign lobbies, that's who's setting our public policy. That's who's driving everything in this country and our elections. Thank you, Elizabeth. Let's see. Hi, Nick G. Great to see you. He's saying people are designated as liberal, but it's not definition. It's a name on the Chiron. Am I saying that right? Um, I'm really glad you brought that up. The parties are neoliberal. You got to learn about this. Neither party is liberal anymore. The Democrats became neoliberal during Clinton. He actually called it third way neoliberalism. We got to learn about neoliberalism. If people think the Democrats are liberal, they're misinformed. Okay. I try to be patient, but I get impatient with people that are well educated, even college degrees, but aren't actually in touch with reality. Okay. It's not just MAGA, you guys, that's brainwashed. It's also what's called blue MAGA. Blue MAGA is people believing the Democrats can save us. No, the fuck they cannot. 98% of our entire Congress is owned by the pro-Israel lobby. Millions and millions of dollars are spent in the Democratic primary elections by the pro-Israel lobby. The pro-Israel lobby funds is the biggest funder of the Democratic primary races by millions and millions of dollars. So far in this electoral cycle, they've already spent $45 million. That is not a free and fair election. We don't have a shot with that money at a free and fair election. I'm not saying don't vote. Go ahead and vote. You have local races. Maybe there's a school board race that's going to really make an impact. Perhaps there's a primary race where you can really make an impact. But look what happened down in Texas. Okay. Let's talk about Henry Cuellar. Okay. He is the Israel lobby candidate. Okay. And he got millions of dollars in 2024 to beat Jessica Cisneros. Okay. She didn't have the funding to win. It's really about the campaign finance laws and how they will take this money and create media. They take the money and they create media to promote lies and propaganda about the candidate that the Israel lobby does not support. What happened in Michigan? People were so pissed off about what happened in Michigan. Well, the pro-Israel lobby was sending two different messages throughout the whole state. They they use their money and they control our elections through using media. okay? People were built to be influenced, you guys. It's just how it is. This is what our brain is made to connect. That's why I'm on here connecting with you. Our brain is made for this. However, our mind is fragile. We're very vulnerable to influence. And people will believe the President of the United States when he says that we're being invaded by immigrants. A lot of people will believe that. Okay. People will believe their evangelical pastor. That's not their fault. Okay. Human beings are easy to manipulate. So we have to actually use our care and our empathy to connect with the people who are disengaged and abandoned and to spread the truth. That's our job right now. We can't get a mass movement going if people don't understand the problem. If people don't understand that elections can't save us, then they'll just be waiting around for an election. That's my biggest fear, and we're already seeing it happen. Let me read some more comments here. Ooh, I like what you said, resist, fight, make love, not wars, freedom to the people. I love that so much, and I love your work, and thank you for everything you're doing. Um, let's see. Hi, Philip. Thanks for joining. I love what your guys' comments are. Let's see. Susan, hello. John, Elizabeth, Karen C, Collector. Let's see. Say anything you want. Hi, Ragged Tulip. Hi, Pamela. Hi, James. Hi, Hugh. Thank you so much. Hi, Laura. Hi, Sodak. Hi, CMDR Cool. Hi, PR. Hi, Rob. Gregor. Hi, Bob Fleischman. I love that you guys are here. You're making my day. Corinne Johannesson, thank you. It's great seeing you. They say, you got to walk your doggos. Nature calls. Well, you got to do that. Hi, Margaret Williams. Okay, Mace is saying, and thank you, political lies are not protected speech. We have freedom of speech, not freedom to speech. See my article on free speech. That's a great point. Hi, Natalie Bloodgood. Hi, Oddwood. You guys, the free speech that they claim is free speech, a lot of it's not actually protected free speech. How is it free speech for a US presidential candidate to call Mexicans rapists? Right? Like your first speech out there, running for office, telling lies? How is it free speech to say that people are eating the cats and eating the dogs? How is that free protected speech? What happens is that people with power manipulate. They manipulate the amendments. They manipulate they manipulate the First Amendment, they manipulate the Second Amendment, they manipulate all of the Constitution. Look at what the Supreme Court did. They broke the goddamn motherfucking Constitution by letting a felon on the ballot to be the commander in chief of a military in which you may not have a felony. Do you see that? They broke the Constitution to give immunity to one person. That wasn't for every president. We all saw it. If it was really for every president, Biden probably would have tested it, but he didn't. Okay. The Democrats and the Republicans work together. Okay. They are two sides of the same coin. They are good cop and bad cop. Okay. Just because the Democrats say nice things, just because they say that they support us, it doesn't mean that they do. We have to look at their actions. They vote in all of these joint resolutions. One of them was for Charlie Kirk to be honored. One of them was to denounce socialism. In a country where we're supposed to have free speech and free expression, both parties joined. Okay? Both parties joined together to allow these cabinet members to be appointed on the first day of this regime in January of 2025. What was the first vote? All the senators voted in unison, in harmony, to approve Marco Rubio as Secretary of State. They joined together. In the meantime, the Republicans had a majority. They didn't need any Democratic votes. Okay, they have voted together to fund ICE. That's real. Okay, the parties aren't going to help us. A very interesting vote that was bipartisan was what? The Epstein Transparency Files Act. They voted bipartisan. What the fuck happened? There ain't been no transparency. They're not making it transparent. They're not calling for arrests. All this illegal shit came out. Not a single congressperson is calling directly for the arrest of any single person. No Democratic governor whatsoever is innovating to join with the other governors to provide health care, to arrest the child rapists that were participating in this international sex trafficking ring. None of the AGs are calling for arrests. Jonathan Ross shot somebody in the face. There's been no arrests. That's both parties, you guys. We cannot hold out hope for either party to help us when they are both owned by the exact same corporations and the exact same foreign lobbies. Okay? Once 2010 Citizens United passed and unlimited corporate and foreign lobby donations were allowed, the votes became about the foreign lobbies and the corporations. Okay? That's who they work for. They're funders. Every 2 years, these Congress people have to get reelected. What do you notice? They're fundraising for their campaigns. That's all they're doing. They don't do anything else. You give money for a campaign, they get elected, and within months of their election, they're asking for more money to help fight or to save democracy. And they don't even tell us how. You know, one of the reps, Stansberry, there was this one video I saw of her that basically said, we're calling on the voters. They're not even trying to do anything in the Congress. They're calling on us to fight, but they're not telling us how. Gavin Newsom, fight. Pritzker, fight. How? Does that mean take up arms? Does that mean a general strike? What the fuck do they want us to do? So, I mean, what do I want us to do? I want us to connect right here. That's why I came on here. To connect, literally, to share our ideas, to be courageous, to stand up and to say, I care about people. I will help take care of people. If people stop working, I will help support them so we can actually engage in a general strike. Let's start setting up alternative markets. We can barter and trade and share and recycle. Let's stop funding these corporations, boycott them, right? Let's remove our economic power. That's the power we have. We have the power of our labor and we have the power of our dollar. Let's remove it. Okay. Let's organize networks of mutual aid. Okay. Let's educate each other. We're going to have to set up education for our beautiful young people because they're defunding education. We have to think 5, 10, 15, 20 years down the line. We can't be thinking about 2026 and 2028. That's too short-sighted. These people started their agenda 50 years ago. They took the long view. Okay, they took the long view. They set it all up. They orchestrated all of this. How? Through the Supreme Court. Okay, the Supreme Court made legal election interference. They made legal voter suppression. Okay, so we have to think outside the box of elections. We got to think about civil disobedience. Okay, this is the way. And the only way we can do that is together. Okay, I have to go to my next client. I'm wearing my Abolish ICE shirt. I love you guys. I'm so grateful for you. I mean it. And I will never, ever give up. I promise. See you soon.